On June 11, Mexico against South Africa kicks off the 2026 World Cup. But with the opening match just days away, the news coming out of the contenders' camps isn't excitement, it's medical bulletins. The squads are already locked in, the real battle now is happening inside them, a race against the clock against injury. And almost every title favourite is fighting it. The biggest talking point is France's William Saliba. Arsenal's defensive cornerstone played all 120 minutes of the Champions League final in Budapest, the penalty shootout defeat to PSG, without coming off for a single moment. The problem is that he walked into that match already carrying a minor back issue. The 2 hours made it significantly worse. In the immediate aftermath, the word out of France was bleak, his place at the World Cup was described as highly doubtful. But over the following days, the mood softened, follow-up scans came back reassuring, and Saliba reported to France's base at Clairefontaine. Manager Didier Deschamps stepped in personally to calm the panic. Still, it's too early to relax, the back needs ongoing management, and some outlets say he may have surgery right after the tournament, playing through pain all summer. The one thing in France's favour is the calendar. Drawn into Group I, they don't begin until June 16 against Senegal, more than 2 weeks of recovery. Even so, Deschamps needs insurance. Konate is the most trusted alternative, with Upamecano and Lacroix in reserve, and Koundé and Hernandez able to cover. What no one can replicate is the calm authority Saliba brings. France's first real test is a warm-up in Lille on June 8. The second variable is the reigning European champions, Spain, and Lamine Yamal. The teenager, only just turned 18, hurt his left hamstring on April 22 in the act of converting a penalty against Celta Vigo. Going down at the very moment he scored, a cruel way to pick up an injury. It cost him the final 6 La Liga games and ended his club season early. The good news is that Yamal made the final 26-man squad. The question is when he can actually play. Barcelona and the Spanish Federation's medics are cautious. Their priority is avoiding a re-injury, even if it means sitting him out of the opening games. In Group H, Spain start against Cape Verde in Atlanta on June 15, then Saudi Arabia on the 21st and Uruguay on the 26th. Coach Luis de la Fuente, however, is more optimistic. If nothing changes, he believes Yamal could be available for the opener. Even then he won't gamble. Yamal skips the warm-up, and any first appearance might be just a few minutes. On top of that, Nico Williams is only just returning from his own hamstring problem, so Spain's flanks may not be at full strength. The saving grace is Spain's depth, players like Alex Bina and Mikel Oyarzabal who can fill multiple roles. The team carrying the deepest wounds into this tournament is Brazil. In sheer scale of damage, theirs is the most severe situation, and it's hit exactly where it hurts, the attack Carlo Ancelotti was counting on. Start with Rodrygo. Back in March, against Getafe, he tore both the cruciate ligament and the meniscus in his right knee. A 6-month-plus injury that ended not just his World Cup, but his entire season. Then another of Brazil's futures went down, Chelsea's Estêvão. The 19-year-old hurt his right thigh against Manchester United on April 18. What was first read as a 2-week problem kept getting worse, and he was ultimately left off the squad. This was a player who'd scored 5 times in his last 6 internationals, a painful loss for a Brazil side that has struggled to score. And in defense, Éder Militão is out too, after hamstring surgery. With the wing stripped this bare, Ancelotti reached for a 34-year-old, Neymar. The trouble is that even this emergency option isn't fully fit. Neymar picked up a grade 2 calf injury on May 17, playing for Santos. The recovery is 2 to 3 weeks, leaving him in a race against time for Brazil's Group C opener against Morocco on June 13. A player who has barely featured for the national team since his cruciate injury in October 2023 is now delayed again. Ancelotti isn't budging. He expects Neymar back for Morocco, or the game after, and the 26 he chose are the 26 he's going with. But leaning on a 34-year-old who lacks match sharpness shows, more than anything, just how thin this Brazilian attack has become. The consolation is that Vinicius Jr. and Rafinha are both fit and firing. Then there's the Netherlands. The Orange are tipped as dark horses, but injuries have eaten away at both ends of the pitch. Defensive anchor Matthijs de Ligt couldn't shake a long-running back problem and underwent surgery in April, effectively out. Veteran Stefan de Vrij is also missing, after getting hurt in Inter's final game of the season. But the most painful blow is Xavi Simons. The team's most creative player tore his cruciate ligament in April, playing for Tottenham. A season-ending injury confirmed months before the tournament, with no way back. His absence hangs over the entire Dutch camp. In attack, Memphis Depay's story has a different shade. His participation looked doubtful, but he recovered just in time to make the final 26. That said, it's not a clean bill of health. He'd had almost no minutes at his club, Corinthians, and Koeman admits he'll have to wait and see. To cover that uncertainty, Donyell Malen, in scintillating form for Roma, is waiting in the wings. The Netherlands open against Japan on June 14th. And the defending champions are no exception, though Argentina's story, and Lionel Messi's in particular, has a different texture. The 38-year-old came off carrying discomfort in Inter Miami's late match against Philadelphia, leaving him with a left hamstring issue. The key detail, this isn't a tear, but accumulated fatigue, an overload. Coach Scaloni has played it down, saying it's not as serious as feared. So Argentina aren't rushing. Messi is building back up on an individual program at the Kansas City camp, away from the main group. He's expected to sit out both warm-ups, Honduras on June 6 and Iceland on June 9. The calculation is to have him ready for the match that matters, the Group J opener against Algeria on June 16. For a captain heading into his 6th World Cup and defending a title, that's about as cautious as management gets. The catch is that it's not just Messi. Goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez fractured a finger on his right hand on May 20 and missed the friendlies. Molina and Montiel are nursing muscle injuries, Paredes has a hamstring overload, and Nico Paz has a minor knee fracture. With the opener looming, at least 6 players are still in rehab. The relief is that Julian Alvarez, back from an ankle problem, and Christian Romero, back from a knee issue, have both returned to full training. And with a manageable group, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan, Argentina have room to bring these players back up to speed. So here's where it stands. The most severe blows, the players who simply can't play, are Brazil's Rodrygo and Estêvão, and the Netherlands' Xavi Simons and Ligt. Next come the ones who made their squads but whose availability at kickoff is uncertain, Neymar, Yamal, Depay, and Messi, who's skipping the warm-ups entirely. And finally there's France's Saliba, who feared the worst before clearing a major hurdle. The squads are all sealed. All the manager can do now is use the final warm-ups. Brazil against Egypt on June 6, France in Lille on June 8 for one last check. The trophy this summer may not go to the flashiest squad, but to the team that keeps the healthiest one intact the longest. In the days left before kickoff, how this injury list moves is the first great variable of the tournament.